I think I was prepared to die.
Sitting silently in our archives for 24 years.
I stayed pretty much in the group. I did not venture out by myself at all.
These two videotapes are speaking volumes today.
Strangely enough, I did not hear or feel the explosion.
Recordings of a man from Williamsburg who lived through one of the worst disasters in U.S. military history.
But I found myself unconscious on the deck.
Richard Paroubek survived the sinking of the U.S.S. Indianapolis 80 years ago this month.
Men started swimming away. They'd hallucinate. They start drinking the seawater.
Most of his memories captured in 2001 have never been heard.
I prayed a lot, thought a lot about family and friends and things like that to keep my mind occupied.
On July 30th, 1945, the heavy cruiser was moving through the Philippine Sea. After completing a top-secret mission, 2 Japanese torpedoes slam into the Indy. She sinks in just 12 minutes.
Of course, men were crying out for their fellow shipmates and asking for help because they've been injured and so forth.
About 300 men go down with the ship. 900 men, including 23-year-old Richard Paroubek, struggle to stay afloat.
Of course, we survived the night, and the next morning we thought we were going to be picked up and rescued, but that didn't happen.
It is the beginning of a torturous odyssey. No drinking water, no food, barely any rafts, in water swarming with sharks.
Well, I never had any encounter with a shark, but I did see the fins floating around, and every once in a while I'd hear somebody scream, but I didn't realize at that time what it really was.
Shipmates of the Yeoman First Class are dying from injuries, sun exposure, and dehydration all around him.
The first morning there was a count. I believe the total was close to 150, and of that group, 67 survived.
4.5 days after the sinking of the Indianapolis, a U.S. naval plane spots what is remaining of the Indy's crew. Rescuers finally arrive.
My 2 shipmates who were in the office with me did not survive.
Just 316 out of the 1,195 men who were serving on the Indy lived to tell the tale.
First of all, it was wonderful to get out of the water. This was heaven. And then to get this rescue, that was also very exhilarating.
The Indianapolis tragedy makes headlines, but is largely forgotten when the end of World War II arrives just weeks later.
The Indianapolis displays both the tragedy and triumph of war.
Commander Amy Thomas admires the courage of the men of the ship who have become part of the U.S. Navy's lore.
And that is the common thread that ties us to the crew of the Indianapolis. We are all shipmates. We continue to carry forth their legacy, and remembering them instills in me a great pride to put on the uniform every day.
I can't even imagine what it would have felt like.
Executive Director of the Virginia War Memorial, Clay Mountcastle, says as we move farther from the event, the sailors' recollections become even more invaluable.
It makes you look back and be grateful that veterans were able to share their stories with us, and in a way wish that we had made a bigger effort to capture more stories when we could have. 24
years ago this month, 79-year-old Richard Paroubek was preparing for the reunion of the Indianapolis's crew, an annual event the veteran never missed up until his death in 2010.
Well, it brings back memories, of course. This is one of the major things you want to do. It's a comradeship, the bond that we always had. Gets closer because the ranks are now getting smaller. It's nice to see the guys again.
80 years removed from the U.S.S. Indianapolis tragedy, one sailor's story preserved forever.
Well, I'll tell you, I never lost hope. I don't feel like that.
His voice still echoing across the decades.
And this is going to carry on the feeling of the Indianapolis and the sacrifice that these 880 men gave for their country.
For I Have a Story, I'm Greg McQuade, CBS 6 News.